All right, what is up, people? We are back with the Red Zone Room podcast again. This one, we're going to go through the Super Bowl recap, talk about all this Mahomes and Brady drama, and all that stuff. And then we'll get into a very popular, overrated, and underrated segment. We got about 8 players to talk about. All of them are pretty controversial, at least in the TikTok community nowadays. So let's just get into the Super Bowl recap, and I'll give it to you. Just get some takeaways from the Super Bowl.
See, a lot of people didn't like it. I thought it was a fun game to watch. And the main reason I thought it was so fun is because the expectation for really everybody was Chiefs are going to win this thing, and it's probably not going to be that close. So to have that and the Bucks just completely just demolish the Chiefs. That to me was just a lot of fun to watch. Todd Bowles' game plan to just suffocate Patrick Mahomes in the pocket and just make him feel pressure on obviously 60% of his dropbacks is unreal. Just that game plan just to me was it was a lot of fun to watch. I don't know. I thought it was a great overall game by the Bucks. I thought Brady looked fine. Um, MVP probably wouldn't have given it to him. My pick would have been either Devin White or Levante David, even Gronk. I would have given it to Gronk. 2 touchdowns, 60 yards, and 6 catches. I thought he had a fine game. Um, but I had a great time watching it. I thought it was a lot of fun. What about you?
I was a little. I didn't like it. All I wanted was a good game. That's all I want. I didn't care who won. I did think it was going to be a close game, and I picked the Chiefs, but I thought it was going to be a very close game winning drive, maybe something like that. And even at halftime, I was like, all right, like it's a blowout right now, but I still think it's going to be Mahomes coming back. But that Bucks D was one of the best defensive performances in the Super Bowl I've ever seen. At least, I mean, I've been alive for 18 years, but that was insane, especially to shut down an offense like that we were debating it was one of the best of all time. Which I never really bought into that, but I mean, it's been an insane offense all year. Mahomes has never lost by more than 8 points in one game. I mean, to hold Patrick Mahomes, he's never had a game without scoring a touchdown in his high school, college, and NFL career ever, and they did that in the Super Bowl. Um, but however, it's not Mahomes' fault. Mahomes played. I know people are saying like Mahomes played okay, like he played fine, and it's not his fault. I think he played pretty well for the most part. I mean, he obviously it wasn't a Mahomes performance, but I think as a quarterback in the NFL, like you cannot clip that as a bad performance. It was a decent performance to me. Um,
I thought he played great. Honestly,
yeah,
I think this the stat sheet is an awful representation of how he really played. I mean, just you see those two throws where he's like parallel with the ground and he's like running 60 yards behind the line of scrimmage and hits Travis Kelsey and Tyreek Hill in the helmet. I mean, that to me just like I thought he played fine, but both those plays could have been touchdowns. And then he would have been looking at a 250-yard, 2 touchdown stat sheet. And I think people would have had a much different interpretation of how he really played. But again, if you're pressured, like I said, on 60%, more than half the time, you're gonna feel pressure from the defense. And he look, I thought Mahomes played fine. They had no run game. They really haven't the entire season. All the pressure was on him, and I just thought it got to a point where we kind of realized, like, oh, Patrick Mahomes maybe can't just make something out of nothing all the time. Because even at halftime, we were saying to ourselves, like, I remember calling my friend, I'm like, this game's not even over. Like, as far as I'm concerned, this is a tie football game. I mean, what was it, 21-3? Something like that. I mean, this game didn't really feel like it was that out of reach for the Chiefs. Honestly, at any point. I thought that the Chiefs could have come back at really any point except for maybe like I would say the final seconds of the third quarter. But yeah, halftime it was 21-6. I mean, this game was not even close to over. How I mean, it felt. It just felt like it was one big play away from um the momentum just completely shifting in the Chiefs' favor. But I mean, the Bucks came out to play and they played great.
yeah. The thing is, like, with obviously everyone's putting memes out there about how bad that Chiefs O line was, and that really lost them the game. Besides the receiver drops, because We saw Hill drop a ball or two. We saw Kelsey drop a ball or two. Uh, who is it? Pringle. On
I
that,
thought I think Daryl Williams actually dropped one too.
who was
If
the
I'm
one
not
that
wrong.
dropped it in the end zone?
That was Tyreek Hill. Hit him right in the
No,
helmet.
no, no, not that one. The one where he threw it when he was like in like right off the ground. I think it was Byron Pringle. I'm not positive, but
I swore it was Daryl Williams. It might have been Pringle.
yeah, it
One
might
of
have
the
been. I don't know.
yeah.
But bottom line, Mahomes threw dimes and nobody could come down with him. But this offensive line thing, like coming into this game, the whole entire year, this Bucks defense it's had the best run defense. Now, not that the Chiefs are going to come out and run it like they did last year, but that front seven is insane. By far the best linebacking core. It's not even close. I mean, they got JPP, Shaq Barrett, Devin White, Levante David up playing linebacker.
I
It's
think they have the
insane.
best front seven in the NFL. The Chiefs, not the Chiefs. The Pittsburgh's got a great one, but I mean, just
I
look at
think
the personnel.
Pittsburgh with healthy like Devin Bush and Bud Dupree. It's Pittsburgh, I think. But
I
yeah,
don't know, dude.
I
Vita
mean,
Vea and Dominic Sue,
we haven't seen
JPP.
when Pittsburgh had their healthy guys, it wasn't even a debate. We haven't seen that in a while, but
Yeah, I just think Tampa Bay wasn't really peaking at that point either. But I mean, the run defense finished at number one, so and then you had
anyway,
Tyreek
I
Hill.
think if those Chiefs O linemen are healthy, then that game doesn't go like that because obviously Patrick Mahomes had no time to throw whatsoever. He'd literally catch the snap and he had to run around. And I think I'm not taking anything away from how good that Bucks front seven is, but if they have a healthy O line, he at least gets time to throw. Who knows? Maybe the receiver still drop the ball. I don't think it's a blowout though, but
Of course, it's not a
absolutely insane.
blowout, but you can't convince me any sort of way that that game doesn't end in the Bucks winning. If you want to tell me, oh, if they officiated this call in the favor of the Chiefs, or if this guy was healthy, or if Brady didn't throw this, or like, fine. Is the game 31-17 or 31-16, 31-12? Fine. But the Bucks still win no matter what. This was a absolute just I don't even know what the word is, honestly. A clinic put on by the Bucks.
Let's get into this popular question going around TikTok. Obviously, Tom Brady's to go. I don't know what you're doing if you don't think that, but cause that's a pretty common thing. Like that's what it is. But the thing here is obviously the Tony Romo thing that he said before the game. If Mahomes wins, then he can catch him, and if he loses, he can't. In my opinion, that was always a stupid comment. In my opinion, so this question I was getting duets on TikTok about that. Can Mahomes ever catch Brady as the greatest of all time? And I think it's stupid to say that he can't catch him just because of this one game. And I've seen a lot of points out there saying that it doesn't matter how many Super Bowls Patrick Mahomes wins since he lost to Tom Brady in the Super Bowl, he can't catch him. And I think that is absolutely a terrible comment because by that logic, Eli Manning must be better than Tom Brady because he beat him twice in the Super Bowl. Even though Tom Brady has 5 more rings, I guess it doesn't matter. So and let's not act like this Chiefs team is not going to be a dynasty. They're very likely going to be a dynasty anyway. They've been to the they haven't Mahomes has gone to the AFC Championship, Super Bowl, and Super Bowl in the 3 years he's played, and it's absolutely insane team to beat in the playoffs. Um, Regardless, he's going to be going at least going to Super Bowls for most of his career, in my opinion. Obviously, that's the future. We'll see what happens, but I think Mahomes is very capable of winning 4, 5, 6 rings. Who knows? Maybe he does pass up Tom Brady. But the bottom line here is this game. This game doesn't even put a dent on Mahomes' legacy, in my opinion, because obviously, once again, winning is a team stat. We don't have to go through that. And Patrick Mahomes is not on the field at the same time as Tom Brady. Tom Brady did not have receivers dropping the ball all game. He did not have a offensive line selling the game for him. He had a great offensive line during that game, just locked up the Chiefs. And he did not have the best defensive. Patrick Mahomes did not have the best defensive performance that I have seen. So that doesn't affect this Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, can he catch him thing for me at all.
This game doesn't. I mean, it's pretty dumb to say. Like both players are gonna play 20 seasons Like that's ridiculous to say that one game is going to decide that. They're going to play over like I don't know 600 games in their NFL careers. One game's not going to decide it. What's going to decide it is their personal accomplishments, how many rings they have, and their stats. Not anyone more than the other. It's an equal balance of all three of those things. Rings do have an impact on it. You can't tell me that Dan Marino is the greatest of all time because he had let's say Dan Marino put up the greater stats than any quarterback ever combined. I will not say he's the greatest. He didn't win a Super Bowl. And when you play for over 15 seasons, you should win at least a Super Bowl. You should. You can't tell me that for 15 straight years you didn't have it going. But anyway, that's for a different argument. Patrick Mahomes can definitely catch Brady. And Patrick Mahomes can catch Brady as long as he wins like 3 Super Bowls or 2 Super Bowls. It's not about the rings. That's what is he going to do for the rest of his career? This game is not going to decide anything. Does it, stain his legacy a little bit because he lost to 43-year-old Tom Brady? I guess. But again, he lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense. He didn't lose to Tom Brady. So look, I don't know. I still think he can catch him. I mean, it's extremely like not even close to 20 years from now. Like 20 years from now, ask me the same question and we'll see what happens. But as of right now, yeah, he can. I doubt it, but he can.
Yep. All right. I mean, we got our thoughts out on the Super Bowl. Now let's segue this into overrated, underrated, or rated right segment. I got about it'll be about 6 to 10 players somewhere in between there, depending on time. But these guys are going to be some controversial players. Let's start this one with JuJu Smith-Schuster. We're going to disagree a lot here. You guys listening out there, let's get it heated. You can go first, Tailgate.
All right, 440. Just before I begin, all right, it's all love. All right, so whatever I'm about to say, all right. Anyway, JuJu is overrated, and I will stick by that. And I know that everybody says it, but I've actually thought about it. And I used to say, oh, well, when everybody says somebody's overrated, it means they're not overrated anymore. But then I thought about it. I'm like, well, maybe everybody's saying he's overrated for a reason. And maybe it's more about his performance rather than the public's opinion on him. So I looked at it. And in 2018, so his rookie year had 900 yards, pretty solid. 2018 had a great year backing up Antonio Brown, 1,400 yards. Or no, that was his first season without Antonio Brown. 1,400 yards. 2019, 500. And remember, he played 12 games. He played 75% of the year. He's on pace for about 600, 700 yards. Last year, 800 yards on 97 catches. He doesn't belong in the top 15. He doesn't belong in the top 20. I don't understand why people keep on defending him. Say whatever you want about a bad offensive coordinator. There are many wide receivers in the NFL who have shit offensive coordinators and they still put up 1,000-yard seasons. There are many wide receivers in the NFL that have a congested offense and they still put up 1,000-yard seasons. First of all, Pittsburgh doesn't have a run game, so they are pass heavy altogether. So they're going to be throwing the ball to JuJu a lot. Second of all, I think that the congested offense actually helps JuJu out because it takes the center of attention off of him and directs it onto other players. So the offense is honestly kind of opened up for JuJu to be able to play into that number one receiver, not Antonio Brown. Nobody thinks he should be Antonio Brown, but just to be a number one receiver, which, yeah, when you put up 1,400 yards in your sophomore season, that is the expectation. So when you fall from 1,400 to almost 1,000 yards less than that and go to 500, granted in 4 less games, you need to have some sort of slander or criticism attached to your name. And then the next season, when you play 16 full games and you only put up 300 more yards, again, there is criticism meant to be attached to his name. If you really think JuJu is this number one receiver, then he should be able to separate himself from, I know I'm reducing him, but a rookie receiver in Deontay Johnson who led the league in drops. And really, nobody knew the guy before this season. Nobody knew him to be an actual good receiver, right? So JuJu should be able to separate himself from that. So yeah, I do think he is overrated.
The definition of overrated: rated or valued too highly. Nobody has JuJu in their top 20.
Yes, they
No
do.
one does.
I have seen JuJu in the top 20.
I've never seen a straight up top 20 list, but I've seen plenty of top 15 lists. Never seen JuJu in there. Nobody thinks he's that good.
Let's
And
assume that people do put him in the top 20. Do you think he's overrated?
I would rank him anywhere from 18 to 25.
He's not top 20. He's not. I could name 20. Honestly, I might be able to name 25 receivers better than JuJu. I might. I'm not going to do it
No
right now
way.
because that'd be a waste of time. But yeah, dude, like, what? I know stats aren't everything, and I'm a huge advocate for that, obviously, because I'm also the one who's argued that Patrick Mahomes really didn't have that bad of a game. If anything, he had a great game, only throwing for 170 yards and a pick for the Super Bowl. But just look at the stats. I'm on Pro Football Reference. I'm looking at his receiving stats yearly. What about this tells you that he's that good? People are living in 2018 with his numbers: 1,400 yards, 550, 830 in his 2 years after that. He combined in 2 seasons for as good as a year he had in 2018. What was really different?
What was different was that they moved him to the slot and they give him 2 yard passes every play. Um, Big Ben, obviously, we saw this year his arm is shot, and he was hurt the year before that. You got to factor in that. You got to factor in he had Mason Rudolph 2 years ago, and last year maybe a little bit of an upgrade, but Big Ben was not good. His yards per attempt were 6.3, terrible, which makes JuJu. Trying to find the
But
stat.
JuJu's not a deep threat. JuJu's a possession guy. He's like
He was in his first 2 years.
Not necessarily. Not really.
Not a known deep threat, but way more opportunities to be a deep threat than he has now. His first 2 years, he had 97-yard touchdowns in both of those years, long bombs.
Mm-hmm.
So he doesn't get that now. He gets 2 yards a catch. Okay. Yards per target, 6.5 this year. Is that right? I can't even read my handwriting. But it's been 7.9 the year before, 8.6. It's just going down. He's getting moved to the slot. His drop percentage 2.3. That's insane. Dude catches everything. He's one of the most reliable receivers out there.
He's getting short routes, like you said. He's not getting contested catches. The guy's catch percentage should be high.
Bottom line, he's one of the most reliable receivers out there.
Most slot receivers are reliable. There aren't a whole lot of slot receivers in.
Oh, there it is.
Slot receiver for a reason.
So you're just gonna take it away just because he's a slot receiver?
I'm gonna take his catch percentage away because, yeah, like you said, his
catch percentage just doesn't count because he's in the slot.
I'm not saying it doesn't count, but it's not valuable.
But it doesn't matter that much.
Tyreek Hill.
That's like you're just discrediting.
Dink and dunks. It's like the same Alvin Kamara argument you're using. Not a better receiving back. Alvin Kamara is basically catching handoffs. He's
caught dink and dunks this year at 5.5 average depth of target, but the years before 9.7 and 8.8 average depth of target. That's
he was a top 10, top 15 receiver those years. Sorry, that 1 year. He's not this year,
and nobody says that.
I feel like they do. Maybe we have a different representation of how people perceive him.
There is no way you have ever seen anybody put JuJu Smith-Schuster in the top.
Dude, I swear I have.
What is the highest you've seen him ranked? Because I have never, ever.
Absolute highest I've seen him is 12.
Never
seen
that.
Off the top of my head, the highest I've seen him is 12.
Never seen him over top 15.
And the account name was Steelers Lover 4th. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, I've seen him ranked high. I have. And maybe those are idiots, and maybe I'm using their opinion too highly. Fine. But I will say this. If you have JuJu in the top 20, in the top 22, 23, I don't think he belongs there. Maybe just take overrated out of it. I don't think he belongs in the top 23. I don't know what you could have seen over the last year, 2 years, that shows you that JuJu was really that great. I understand he has quarterback issues. Still, like there are many receivers in the NFL who have quarterback issues. Big whoop. Get over it. A lot of other receivers do.
I will quote you at the beginning before you said anything. You said, everybody says that he's overrated. And then you said, oh, well, maybe it's just based off of performance. And I can't reword it. You were basically saying that you didn't care that everyone, the whole sports TikTok community, ask them an overrated wide receiver, they're gonna say JuJu Smith-Schuster. So, yeah, I mean, first of
Of
all,
course, people do think he's overrated.
everyone except maybe some
Good.
angry Steelers fans.
Fine. But then I agree, he is overrated.
No, but so what I'm saying is, like, you're just saying he's not good, is what you're saying.
I don't think he's
You
good enough
said
to
you
be in the
said
top 23.
performance based on performance because
Based on performance, he's not top 23. What based on performance, based on the stats that he put up, what tells you he's top 23? What about it?
his reliability
What
and
he's a
his yards
slot
after catch
receiver.
and his yards after catch. Dude trucks people.
His
I know
yards after
you saw
catch,
that viral stiff arm going on.
8.6 yards per reception, lowest of his career. What's so good about that? I don't see what's so great about that. 51 yards per game. Really?
How about so you don't are we just not going to count 2018 89 yards per game 1400 yards? Is it
2018? I'm trying to think of who else. Josh Gordon. I don't know. Like there are receivers that were good in 2018 that aren't good anymore. What was T.Y. Hilton's stat line in 2018?
I'm not saying going off of that.
I'm saying that just because they had, T.Y. Hilton in 2018, 1,200 yards. You like T.Y. Hilton? You're a Colts fan.
Not the point.
T.Y. Hilton. It is the point because just because he was good in 2018 doesn't mean he's good now. We can't
Okay,
live in the
T.Y. is like 85 years old though.
Okay, and that's more excusable for him. JuJu's supposed to be hitting the prime of his career. Why is his numbers going down?
It's not his fault they moved into the slot.
Well,
you just said
Julian Edelman's a slot receiver. Julian Edelman still has like 4,000 yard receiving seasons, and he had to battle with Gronk.
I can't believe you're just discrediting the catch percentage, the drop percentage, the amount of drops just because he gets shorter passes.
I'm not discrediting it. I'm just taking it at a lower value than other receivers in the NFL. When you're a slot receiver, you catch 4-yard dink and dunks. You're supposed to catch the ball. When you're run, if you look at drop percentages, running backs will probably take 8 out of the top 10 spots in catch percentages. Yeah, because they get 2 to 3 yard catches. That's what happens. When your average depth of reception, would you say it was 5.5? Something like that? I don't have it up here. If it's 5.5, he's getting drag routes, in routes, out routes. It's all he's getting. He's not getting down the field contested balls because, like you said, Big Ben's arm is shot. They're not going down the field. If they are, they're going to Claypool. And Claypool was great. I think Claypool's better than JuJu. I think he had a better year because he was in a worse situation with Big Ben. He's a down the field receiver. And when you have a quarterback who can't throw the ball down the field and you're still able to put up that year, I think that's better. So, of course, JuJu was a top 12 receiver in 2018. So was T.Y. Hilton. He's not anymore.
You're harping on his 800 yards?
800 yards last year in 16 games.
4.4 yards before contact per reception. He should not be able to put up 1,400 yards if he's getting hit every 4 yards. Now, I'm not saying that 800 yards is like this great stat, but can you imagine if he put up 1,400 yards playing with that?
In the slot?
Well, don't ask me.
Well, there must be some reason. Maybe that's where his skill set is used.
Oh, the guy that got fired that put him in the slot?
I don't know. Yeah, but like I said earlier, players have shit coaching and they're still able to put up good stat lines. I stand by that.
So how come it's fine for quarterbacks when they have terrible situations? Your Sam Darnold take.
Because Sam Darnold has actually had good seasons. Not good seasons, but he's flashed the pan a few times.
What does that mean?
He's shown that he can be a good quarterback.
And JuJu hasn't. JuJu hasn't. What the hell? 2018.
What is he doing now? Nobody says Sam Darnold's good. Nobody does.
Yo.
Not even top 30, dude. People put Sam Darnold on the bottom 5 quarterbacks on every single list, which is fair.
No.
But people think he's overrated. There's a literal list I reacted to today on TikTok. Somebody said that Sam Darnold's overrated.
He is by some people. You know damn well people think he could be a top 15 quarterback on another team. There's plenty of people out there that do that.
Saying, some people think that Baker Mayfield could be a top 5 quarterback. Well, yeah, they're idiots. They clearly don't know what they're talking about. But
there's a lot of people out there that think that Sam Darnold can be a great quarterback. That's no one thinks JuJu can.
I haven't seen anybody say that.
Yes, you have. We literally talked about it on a podcast because it's a controversial. Can he be a good quarterback?
Sam Darnold can be a top 17 quarterback in the NFL.
And there's a lot of people that do that. Is that not overrating him? That's why people call him overrated, because half of the world thinks that he's a bottom 5 quarterback, and half of them think he
is a bottom 5 quarterback. The argument is saying, okay, if you don't give him a absolute please, I'm begging, give me one thing New York does well except for losing. Give me one thing. Offense.
Losing.
Nothing good. They have nothing good on offense. So if you're a quarterback, and of course, Deshaun Watson, look, he still has Kenny Stills, Will Fuller, Brandon Cooks, and Hop last year. He actually had guys with the ball too. Of course, he had to run out of the pocket every 5 seconds, but he still had players with the ball too. Sam Darnold has no one. Nothing to do. He has a rookie receiver, a project player in Denzel Mims, Jamison Crowder, who was hurt for the entire year, basically, and no offensive line, shit coaching, no run game. He was set up to fail. Adam Gase, the man who everybody was calling his job before the season even started, said, yeah, we probably didn't do a great job making Sam Darnold a good quarterback. He was quoted on saying that. So, yeah, he was number 3 pick of the draft. He's the only player I will actually buy into when it comes to his draft pick. Daniel Jones, number 6, no, he sucks. Mitch Trubisky, number 2, not a huge fan. But Sam Darnold, the 3, I still think Sam Darnold can be good because he was never given a chance. Daniel Jones was given actual receivers in a run game. He was given Saquon Barkley. Mitch Trubisky was given the number 1 defense in the NFL, Allen Robinson, and Tariq Cohen in an okay run game. He was given stuff before, and he's still proven he couldn't do it. Sam Darnold has been giving nothing in his entire career, and he's still, like I said, flash the pan, still showed a few signs of being a good quarterback a few times.
Like, you changed the subject there. We weren't even talking about if Sam Darnold is.
I know we weren't. JuJu's still overrated, though.
Nope.
Okay. Hey, look.
We can throw all the stats out the window, but if nobody's overrating him, can't be overrated because no one overrates him. Bottom line.
Who overrates who?
JuJu. Never seen it.
All right.
And he is that player. Any NFL casual, any NFL real fan who's overrated, he is one of the top 3 options they're going to say. Anyone.
That's true.
So how the hell are you overrated if everyone thinks that? It doesn't make sense.
Because you said you put him 18 to 25. I wouldn't put him in the top 23. No way. He doesn't belong there. What has he done? Honestly. There are many receivers in the NFL who have bad situations, and they still produce.
If I put him at 20, what would you say? That's overrating him?
I would say that's overrating him.
Where would you rank Stephon Diggs?
Like if you're including Julio and Michael Thomas?
Sure.
I would say Julio 1, Hopkins 2, Adams 3, Stephon Diggs 4. I'm sorry, no, not Stephon. Tyreek Hill 4, Allen Robinson 5, Stephon Diggs 5, one of them 5. I don't know. I would put Allen Robinson, Keenan Allen, and Stephon Diggs all in that 5, 6, 7 range.
So if I put Stephon Diggs at 3, am I overrating him? Or even 2?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know why you value a 2 or 3 spot difference so much. So, if I'm overrating the hell out of JuJu.
Because you're putting him over players that aren't better than him. That's like saying, okay, so if you're putting him at 3, then you think that DeAndre Hopkins is better than Stephon Diggs, which means that, yes, you are overrating him. Just like saying, let's say at 20, you were to put, I'm trying to think who'd be in that 20 range. I think Tyler Boyd would be in the 20 range.
Tyler Boyd, 16, 15.
16, 15. All right. I really want to find a good example for this. I'm trying to think who would be in that 20 range. I don't know. Adam Thielen now. Kenny Golladay. He'd probably be in that 20 range, right? If you were to put JuJu over Kenny Golladay, then yes, I think you're overrating JuJu.
Nobody's doing that.
People who think that JuJu is a top 20 receiver, they are. If they're putting him over Kenny Golladay, just for like an example sake. Putting him over Robbie Anderson, they're overrating him.
Through the first 20 minutes of that, it seemed like you were putting him at 30 and I was putting him at 10. That's the emotion I
JuJu?
got. That's the emotion I got.
I've said this entire time, don't put him higher than 23. That has been my entire piece. I said if you're putting him higher than 15, you're crazy. If you're putting him higher than 20, you're crazy. And then I set on 23.
I'm just saying you've been trashing on him so hard that it seems like you don't even rank him in the top 30. Because we literally just settled that I rank him like 3 or 4 spots higher than you.
Look, if you want to cut the podcast right now, I'll make a top 30 list for you right now, and I'll tell you where JuJu sits.
We got to move on from this.
Agreed.
Claypool.
Overrated because he's a rookie. Every rookie's overrated.
Okay, what is that?
Tell me a rookie that's not overrated. It's a
Justin Jefferson. Justin Herbert.
Herbert's not. Herbert's a
Brandon Ayuk.
Nor is Jefferson. Ayuk's underrated. Ayuk is underrated.
So what was that logic?
I don't know. What do you think Claypool is? I answered JuJu.
I don't know. It's one of the depends on who you ask, because he's ranked pretty. I mean, I've seen him ranked anywhere from like for rookie receivers anywhere from like 2 to 6, and for me, like I put him at 5. Like 4 is okay, but I disagree with
top
it.
6?
Jefferson, Ayuk, Lamb, Higgins, Claypool, Mooney, Judy.
So then, yeah, I think he's right around there.
But I get this because I can see both sides. He's not underrated. Definitely not underrated.
No, I would say he's rated fine, personally.
I think a lot of people out there do overrate him though, because I've had a lot of angry comments saying that Chase Claypool is not the second best rookie receiver is absolutely insane. So one thing I would bring up is 56% catch rate. That ain't good. That's not good.
What was his average depth of target?
Up me.
Down the field, right? And I forgot. I'm short-term memory loss. What did you say about Ben Roethlisberger's arm? Forgot the word you used.
Trash. Whatever.
Trash shot. Okay. So if Chase Claypool, his average yards of reception is 14.1, which is almost triple JuJu's, just for the record. 14.
What are you trying to say?
Yards per reception, right? More of a down the field, the most down the field receiver that Pittsburgh has on a team with a quarterback.
That's what he gets.
Can't throw down the field.
He can't. You know he can't.
So if he can't, then how are you saying that?
We can go watch film right now and watch him overthrow Claypool 10 times.
You're agreeing with me more than you're disagreeing. You're literally proving my point.
Wait, what do you? That's what. Okay, that's what. I thought you were saying.
You're saying that Chase Claypool's catch percentage is really low, and I'm like, yeah, because the quarterback sucks.
I thought you were trying to say that freaking Jesus. I thought you were saying Big Ben's arm is not shot because of how big. Yeah. No, that's understandable, but that's still not good. But yeah, I get it.
Okay, so I think you know what? I think we actually agree on that.
But like we said, he is a deep threat. His receptions per game 3.9. Okay, yards after catch per reception 5.3. He's good after the catch.
Yep.
Drop percentage 5.5. He has 6 drops. That's where that catch percentage I was saying isn't good, because he has 5.5% drop percentage. So, but that's where it knocks him down a few spots to me. And saying he is a top 3 rookie receiver is insane to me. But I mean, I see his potential and all, but that's not.
Yeah,
that's just
like I honestly I can't even remember who the rookie receivers are. I'd put Jefferson 1, Ayuk 2, and then I'd probably put Lamb 3, Higgins 4. And then, yeah, I think Claypool's 5. Honestly, Higgins and Claypool for me, interchangeable. I think you can put either of those guys there at that 4 and 5 spot. But yeah, I think 2 is way too high. I'd put Ayuk there. And honestly, if you're putting Ayuk any lower than 3, then you're doing him a crime, because that man is very, very, very skilled based on his rookie season.
All right, let's go Kenny Galladay.
Underrated.
No.
Yes.
How?
All right, sir. Please make your case. I've already made my case 100 times about other receivers, so now it's your turn to make your case.
First of all, where he's ranked what 10 to 15 for the most part.
No, he is
Oh
not
yeah.
ranked
Oh yeah.
10.
Oh
No,
yeah.
he is not.
Go check my comments. Go check this. Why he's overrated.
Oh, I love doing this podcast, man. No, he's not 10. He's not
I made
10.
it. I get all these angry comments. This is why Kenny Galladay is so overrated. How is he not in your top
That's another
10?
thing we're
How is he
completely
not?
not realizing, dude. It completely depends on where you see the people ranking him. If you see JuJu top 10, then yeah, he's overrated. If you see JuJu left out of the top 50, then he's underrated. It all depends on what you perceive
All
him
right,
to be.
okay. I've never seen Galladay lower than 15 though. I've never seen that.
Okay.
And I think once again we don't have a list of receivers in front of us. We damn near should have done that. I would put Galladay 18 maybe, but the fact that I get all these angry comments saying I had him at, I don't know, whatever I had him at was way too low. He should be in the top 12, the top 10. That's absurd. His catch percentage, I won't use this year because he played like 3, 4 games. Last year, 56% catch
Had the
percentage.
most contested balls in the NFL.
Yes, that's the one thing he's good at.
He had the most contested attempts in the NFL. Most contested balls thrown at him in the NFL. So yeah, his catch percentage isn't going to be as high as others. He's a red zone threat. He caught for 1,200 yards. 18.3 yards per reception. That is triple than your friend.
What is he?
11 touchdowns.
We are not comparing JuJu to Kenny Galladay right now.
74 yards per game. I think he's good. I think he's at least 14, 15.
He's that guy that makes a highlight here and there, and everybody thinks he's way better than he is because he made this.
He wasn't healthy.
I'm not. Like, he's the. What I'm saying is, he's that guy that will come in, and I'm going off of 2 years ago, not this last season. He'll come in and get you literally 3 to 5 catches a game. He'll make one insane highlight, and all of a sudden, he's this top 10 receiver. He last year averaged four catches a game, 2.5 catches a game. The year before that, I just think people think he's a lot more than he is. He's a great contested catcher, not a good route runner. I don't think he really does much well besides contesting catches. And I just think that I'm not saying he's bad. I think he's still a good receiver. I'd love for the Colts to go get him. But he's not what people think he is. He's not this top. He shouldn't even be close to the top 10.
I feel like you are wildly under just appreciating him if you're saying that all he does is really just catch contested balls. I mean, if that's all he does, then he wouldn't have 1,200 receiving yards. He was on pace for 1,100 yards this season. We played a full year.
You're taking my words too literal here.
Okay, well then what else do you think he does except for just catch contested balls? That's all soundbite.
What are you asking me here?
It sounds like
obviously he doesn't just straight up catch contested balls.
Well, sounds that's all you're reducing him to, and he's
you're taking my words too literal here.
He's much more of a receiver than that. He's a solid receiver.
He averages. I don't have that stat in front of me. Well, yes, he's a great contested catcher. Dude cannot get separation whatsoever, and that's okay when you can make contested catches. But once again, when we're bringing up these receivers that we're talking about, the fact that people think he is top 12, then you gotta.
I don't think he is. So I mean, you're arguing me right now. You're not arguing the TikTok community. I don't think he is.
So where are you putting him? Where are you putting him?
I think he's. I put like 15, 16, somewhere around there. I put him 14, 15, 16. I think there's like honestly, there's like 6 receivers you can put in that range. Honestly. That is the toughest part of the list to make. On it, like I think you and I can both agree. 1 through 8 is relatively like the same guys are usually shuffled through the 1 through 8, 1 through 7 spot, and then it gets really fuzzy and hazy because there's a lot of names being thrown around. Some people are putting Justin Jefferson up at like 8 or 9, which I still think. I mean, it's just one season. But I think right over there it gets really crowded with a lot of receivers. So a lot of those names are going to be thrown anywhere from 8 to like 16, 17. I'd put him right around that 14, 15, 16 range. I think that's pretty fair. I mean, the guy's had almost 3 straight 1,100-yard seasons. If he were to play a full 16-game season, he's a jump ball receiver. That's what he is. He does more than that, but that's what he specializes in, and he does a pretty good damn job doing it. So I think he's fine. You also need to remember you were giving JuJu a lot of credit for his awful offense. Detroit's offense is nothing to write home about. I mean, they're a broken team altogether. Matt Stafford's a solid quarterback, but I do think he is a little bit overrated right now, if I'm being honest. Because he throws some of the most uncatchable passes in the NFL statistically. So I don't know. I think Galladay's pretty
I
good.
will say that Stafford is the perfect quarterback for Galladay, though. He's not. Galladay's not in a bad situation, and that's going to sound weird saying Detroit, but Galladay's a deep threat, and Stafford's a deep ball guy. But
Fair point. Good point.
all right, Tannehill. He's another guy that's rated all over the place. 8 to 3.
I think he's perfectly rated because there are people. He used to be underrated before the season. He is my most underrated quarterback in the NFL, easily, far and away. But I don't think he's underrated anymore. I think people are starting to give him the credit he deserves. So I think he's perfectly rated. I think people are starting to realize that he's a great quarterback.
Yeah, I just see too much. I still see too much Tannehill slander. So I mean, I think I could still classify him as underrated.
What can you slander him for?
Derrick Henry's the whole team. Tannehill doesn't do anything.
Look at his stats, though.
Yeah, I mean, people who say that are casuals, but because I'll still stay to this day, Tannehill is more valuable to the Titans than Derrick Henry is.
Well, yeah, I just think that comes from the fact that quarterbacks are more valuable than running backs are, and anybody who doesn't agree with that thinks that Zeke was worth the money, or that you should pay running backs, because clearly you shouldn't. But I thought Tannehill had a solid. Tannehill had a great year. Honestly, Tannehill does not get enough credit for how good of a year he had. 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 3,800 yards, 8 yards an attempt. He 11-5 record, took the team to the playoffs. He's a good quarterback. He's top 10. And if you're leaving him out of it, then go watch some football.
And I've seen him out of a lot of top 10s lately, so that's why I'm still calling him underrated.
If anything, he was more underrated this season than he was last year. I will say that. Last year, I thought he was really underrated. But then again, he only threw. Again, he did only play 10 games. That's something I need to take into consideration, because he threw for 2,700 yards, which isn't a lot, but 22 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and he threw for 11 more touchdowns this year with only 1 more pick. So you gotta look at the averages too. But yeah, I would say I'd say he's perfectly rated. I'll stick by that.
Where are you ranking Stafford?
I don't know. Honestly, dude, I have not made a quarterback list yet, since the end of the year. So I genuinely don't know. I kind of want to put Kirk Cousins over him, because I thought, I got Kirk Cousins, Derek Carr, Ryan Tannehill, all in that 9 to 12 range. So I could see Matt Stafford being up around 9. I could see him as low as 12 or 13. So I'll settle around 11.
I have him at 11 or 12.
11 or 12.
But I don't like that you said he's overrated earlier. Because
40, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't care if you don't like that. I don't care.
I've never seen him higher than 9 or maybe 8. I don't think I've seen him.
I'm not saying this because of his ranking. I'm saying this because of the feedback that the trade got on the end of Matt Stafford.
That's what made him underrated.
How?
You don't understand the amount. I understand that there's people that say that makes the Rams a Super Bowl contender, which I agree with. But you don't understand the amount of people once that trade happened and they heard one comment that the Rams are Super Bowl contenders now, which is true because that is an upgrade from Jared Goff, whether you guys like that or not. There's all these people out there saying, "Oh, either it's barely an upgrade," which I guess I can understand if you count barely as like a 5 to 6 to 7 spot difference. Because I mean, Goff's got to be like 18 or 19, and Stafford's like 11 or 12. So that's a pretty big upgrade, if you ask me.
I just left Goff off my bottom 10 quarterbacks in the NFL list, so I'd put him right around.
Exactly.
10, I think.
And yeah, that's a pretty big difference to me. And the amount of slander that Stafford got, because yeah, sure, there's probably some people hyping it up, but
he wasn't worth the picks. I'll tell you that much. Matt Stafford was not worth 2 first-round picks in a second. I mean, Goff. I know it's salary dump. I get that for all of you listening at home. I know it's salary dump, but like Stafford was not worth 2 firsts in a second. Because I remember you and I actually debating whether Matt Stafford was worth even 1 first-round pick. Never mind another one and a second.
I mean, that's like saying Goff is overrated because he has a big contract. Like maybe the Rams.
I'm saying he wasn't worth 2 firsts in a second. I'm not saying that to justify whether he's overrated or underrated or perfectly rated. I just don't think I think he was underrated. I think he was, and I don't think he is anymore because I think everybody is. I will say this stat until I die. He hasn't thrown for more than 32 touchdowns since 2011. Like, and he's had good receivers. He's had Megatron. He's had you. Apparently, you think he's overrated, but he's had Kenny Galladay. He's had the Marvin Jones, Danny Amendola, T.J. Hawkinson. He's had good receivers. He's had bad defenses, which should help his stats. I don't know.
I mean, we knew that that's another one that's one of those. It really just depends on who the heck you ask. Oh, yeah. You know what though? Deshaun Watson had 33 touchdowns this year. You know why? Because his offense and organization was trash.
Very true.
And that was an impressive number.
Hold on.
So don't hold that against.
I'm going to pull up Watson's stats, and then I'm going to pull up Matt Stafford's stats.
Okay.
Just so I can.
Whoa.
What?
We're not going to compare these two, are we?
No, I'm going to juxtapose. Well, you just did. You just said Deshaun Watson had 33 touchdowns.
Yeah, because you just said that not throwing for 32 touchdowns was embarrassing, basically. And Watson did it by 1
year. Matt Stafford hasn't done it in 9 years.
You know why?
There's a little bit of a difference.
I just told you why.
Organizations have nothing to do with
you cannot take one quarterback and put them on the Lions and have them be all this huge upgrade from Matthew Stafford.
I'm not talking about the organization. I'm not talking about wins. I'm talking about throwing touchdowns. The offense was good enough to get him 33 touchdowns.
Bad offenses don't score.
It's not a bad offense.
The Lions?
It's not a bad offense. Look at the personnel on that team. It's not a bad offense. 26 and 10 this year for Stafford. I mean, like,
I'm getting really confused here because you keep slandering him, but you just said you put him at 9 to 13 to 11.
I said put him at 11. I'm not slandering him. I'm.
Oh yeah, you are
refuting what you're saying. No, you think he's. What did you say he was underrated?
That's what I was about to say. Is once again depends on who you ask. If you're because I saw him. I think it was Mr. Jack Football. Didn't have him in the top 15. That's absurd. That's underrating him.
Of course, it's absurd.
So I guess I can see them.
One person.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
The New York Giants, so it's a little bit different. I don't agree with any of his lists.
I mean, that's what I was saying. Matthew Stafford is probably all 3, I guess.
What do you mean all 3?
But
all 3.
I think, huh?
What do you mean all 3? All 3.
Underrated, overrated, rated, right? Because once again, it depends on who you ask. But I do think more goes into being underrated or rated right than overrated. Because there's really not that many people that overrate him, in my opinion. Because I've never seen him. I don't think I've ever seen him higher than, at least this year, higher than 9 on a quarterback ranking. And you just said that was like the highest you would put him, which I agree. I could put him at 9 or 10.
Okay, so if we're going by that, then I guess rated fine. Okay, like if that's the benchmark, then yeah, fine. But I'm not go. I did say I'm not necessarily going off the rankings when I'm deciding whether he's overrated, underrated, or perfectly rated. I'm saying like people are acting like the Rams weren't. People are acting like people weren't already saying the Rams were Super Bowl contenders, especially after beating the Seahawks in the wild card. People are like, "Oh my God, this defense is nuts. They might actually like take them to the Super Bowl." Like that was a legitimate thing. I was there for that. People were saying that. So remember, Jared Goff was the quarterback then.
What does that have to do with it though?
I'm saying, oh, now the Rams are Super Bowl contenders and the NFC should just go to bed. Like, no.
There's a difference because
Of course there's a difference.
that's yeah. 'Cause that's where this comes in because they were like borderline Super Bowl contender, and everyone knew that they had a big weakness at quarterback, which is huge. But they knew the rest of their team was good enough to maybe get them to a Super Bowl like they did 2 years ago. But now getting a quarterback that's debatably 8 to 10 spots better than him, that makes them favorites in the NFC with along with the Buccaneers and the Packers.
They should not be favorites.
How?
Buccaneers and I'd put the Bucks over them, I'd put the Packers over them, and I'd put the Seahawks over them.
The Seahawks. Why do you think the Seahawks are better than the Rams? I don't get that.
Because you have to assume that they're gonna spend money on offensive line. You have to. It's not even to think.
That's what I said earlier when I said you have to assume that the Browns will spend money on their defense, and you said, "Well, that's all hypothetical."
They don't have. I never. First of all, never said that. Second of all, they don't have money to spend. They don't have money to spend. They've got a 24-year-old quarterback who's had most of the up and downs of his career in the last season, and he's about to hopefully get paid $30 million. When you do that, like I've said in past podcasts, you can't afford to sign the Jack Conklins and the Austin Hoopers and the Odell Beckham Juniors when you're paying the quarterback that money. When you have your quarterback on a rookie deal, you can go out and do that. But if you have to pay Baker Mayfield top quarterback money, top 10, which he's going to get, I'll put it this way. Teddy Bridgewater is getting paid $25 million a year. People put Teddy Bridgewater as a bottom 10 quarterback in the league. I think Baker Mayfield's going to be getting that $30 million range. If he gets that, the Browns can't pay your defense. He can't. They can't. That's why the Browns are Super Bowl contenders.
How are the Browns not Super Bowl contenders?
You think they are?
Were they this year?
No.
No. But look what they did. They a 5-point loss to the team that got to the Super Bowl. Obviously,
with the backup quarterback for the second half.
Oh, no, come on. You know that was like the last 3 possessions of the game. Is that not an impressive performance by the Browns?
Yes. Very impressive.
I'm not saying they're Super Bowl contenders. You don't think they're going to make
medal for the playoffs.
You don't think they're going to make any moves in the offseason.
You beat the Steelers, which over the last 100 years, no NFL team has had a bigger collapse to an NFL season than the Pittsburgh Steelers had, and I know for damn sure you can agree with me on that. So yes, they beat the Steelers. Awesome.
Dude, you're just nothing good for the Browns happened.
I didn't say that.
You're saying, oh, congratulations, a playoff win and a great performance against
your culture changed. Awesome. This doesn't mean you're Super Bowl contenders. That's what the golf clap is for. Just because your culture changed does not mean that you're going to go wipe out the highly competitive AFC. You and I both agree on this, dude. There are 10 teams in the AFC next season that can make the playoffs. The Browns might be in the top half.
I'm saying here,
all the teams I'd rather take than the Browns. I would take the Chargers over the Browns, Chiefs over the Browns, Colts over the Browns, Titans. I would take the Ravens, might take the Steelers, not quite sure. I'd take the Dolphins, I'd take the Bills. Those are 7 teams. And please give me one ridiculous team. Fine, Dolphins. 6 teams.
Chargers.
You think the Chargers ridiculous?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
How?
The Browns got, what were they? The 6th seed this year. They got a playoff win. Why are you acting like what they did this year? What they go 11-5?
Mm-hmm. With the easiest schedule in the NFL.
You're just discrediting everything they did.
Yes, I am.
How did the Browns not impress you this year? And I'm not even saying with Brown standards, like as a football team.
They impressed me as a football team that got out of a shithole. They did a great job. They changed the culture. Kevin Stefanski, great job. You got Coach of the Year. Awesome. Fantastic job. I'm very proud of you. That does not mean that you are a Super Bowl contender. as of right now, look, the Browns could go out and sign J.J. Watt and Richard Sherman and all this veteran presence, and yeah, fine. But I have to see it. Right now, you're telling me with the Browns roster that they're a Super Bowl contender.
We can go back on this later because I didn't say that once.
Yes, you did. You said the
No, I
Browns
didn't.
were a Super Bowl contender. Yes, you did. You absolutely did, because it's the entire reason we're on this.
Everyone watching, go skip 5 minutes back.
Please,
Didn't say it once.
And then comment right now, tailgate was right.
Oh, man. I'll send you a screen recording after this.
Do it. Right now.
Never once did I say that.
You did.
I simply compared the Rams to the Browns.
Said, do you really think they are? And you're like, yes.
No, I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Because once again, what you were saying...
Just the record, you do not think the Browns are Super Bowl contenders for next season.
I think they're guaranteed playoff contenders, and they're going to be in the playoffs.
Sure.
But once again, like you said on our last podcast, some people think Super Bowl contenders is only 2 teams from each side, and some people think it's 5 teams from each side. In that case, I would put them in there because they're a top 5 team in the AFC. And you are underrating the hell out of them right now.
That's saying that a third of the NFL is competing for a Super Bowl. That's 10 teams. 5 teams of conference, that's 10 teams. 10 out of 32 is a third. You're saying that a third of the NFL is competing for Super Bowl?
Because it would be insane to say that a top 5 team from the AFC can make the Super Bowl.
Do you see the Browns beating the Bills?
No one saw them beating the Chiefs, and I know they didn't.
They didn't beat the Chiefs.
Everyone thought they were going to get clapped.
And they would have if it wasn't for the star quarterback getting hurt.
No.
Yes.
Because it was a game the whole time.
It wasn't. Do you see the yardages that the Chiefs were putting up in the first half? See how many first downs they had on just like 8 plays?
So you're telling me that the Chiefs were blowing them out with Mahomes? Chiefs were blowing them out with Mahomes? It's not true.
With Mahomes? Not blow them out.
It was never more than...
times do teams blow out other teams in the playoffs? How frequently does that really happen?
22 to 10 is not handling a team.
It's not, but they did with a backup quarterback in the second half.
Yeah, but it was a game the whole time. They were in the game with Patrick Mahomes. Okay, we're getting sidetracked.
No. End of the first half. What was the score of that game?
It was never more than a 12-point game.
It was 19-3. So 16-point game at the end of the first half. So
when did Mahomes get hurt? 19 to 10?
I think it was 19 to 10. I think it
was 9-point game with Patrick Mahomes playing. 9-point game.
So with ball in his hand, up 2 scores in the third quarter, where they're starting to kind of figure things out. You're telling me it wasn't a blowout? 19-3 in the first half.
No. Bottom line, they were in a 9-point game with Patrick Mahomes playing.
And again, like I said, and you've agreed with me on this. It's the playoffs. You don't have blowouts in the playoffs.
You just said they got handled and it wasn't a good game.
The Bucs beat Washington by 8 with a backup quarterback on the other side, for crying out loud. There aren't blowouts in the playoffs. I said that in my reaction to the game. I said, don't overreact for everybody favoring the Bucs to win the Super Bowl. Basically just me. But don't overreact about it, because people don't win a lot. People don't win by a lot in the playoffs. Just happens. It's the playoffs. Both those teams are there for a reason. So yeah, again, great job, Browns. You change your culture. You're gonna be in the playoffs next year. That doesn't mean you're competing for a Super Bowl when there are other teams like the Chiefs and the Bills who I think are much better than you. They're not getting through them. Sorry, they're not.
Go back to the Rams. How are they not a Super Bowl contender? Because that's insane to me.
Never said they weren't.
Oh, yes, you did. You literally said.
I said they're not a Super Bowl favorite.
You said contender. I can quote you on that. You said they are not a Super Bowl contender now.
I said people were saying even last year they're a Super Bowl contender with Jared Goff and without Stafford. This season, I'd say they're the number 4 team in the NFC. Yes, number 4. I'd say they're behind the Seahawks.
The Seahawks, dude.
And Packers.
How can you put first of all, the Rams were 2-1 against the Seahawks this year with Jared Goff.
Mm-hmm.
Now they have a huge upgrade at quarterback. They have still the best defense in the league.
Russell Wilson, for the first time in his NFL career, is actually expressing some sort of frustration, and the Seahawks are going to be like, "Oh shit, we got to get this guy some,
It's all
offensive
hypothetical.
line."
What's all hypothetical is, are they going to fix off the line?
Fine. Then as
Is
of
the
right
new
now, no.
offensive coordinator?
As of right now, fine. Rams are better than the Seahawks. But when it comes to when you see in free agency where the Seahawks sign 2 guys and draft another 2 guys in the draft, then yeah, I'll take the Seahawks over the Rams.
I think that's just insane.
What else do the Seahawks need? Their defense was like number 7 in the NFL down the stretch. Their offense is clearly top
I'm not
6.
I'm not trying to say the Seahawks aren't going to be good or anything if they fix off their own line, but they're still not. The Rams are better than them.
Right now they are.
Because we talked about it. The Rams didn't need anything but a quarterback, and they got their top 12 quarterback.
We'll see.
They're literally got everything they need. I'm not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl because, like we said, the NFL playoffs is like
the Saints have everything. The Saints have had everything they've needed for the last 3 years.
Yeah, well, Saints have Sean Payton.
Sometimes when you have everything you need, it doesn't always pan out.
Mahomes, McVay went to the Super Bowl with Jared Goff.
Yeah, I know.
They're a Super Bowl contender. It's bottom line.
Yeah, number 4.
You said they weren't. So
okay.
I feel like you just change your mind all the time, especially on this episode.
I really don't.
I feel like you're just kind of all over the place.
Yeah, I am all over the place, but we go with it.
We're coming up on an hour.
Oh, come on. We're rolling right now. Let's keep on going.
You want to go longer than an hour?
Yeah, why not?
What else
You're telling me the people at home are not enthralled in our conversation.
Let's get a part 2 going. Get them intrigued. Clickbait for the next one.
Yeah. All right, we'll do clickbait. I'm down with that.
And the next one, we can use weapons.
What do you mean?
We can use I'm bringing a weapon to beat your ass with in this next one.
All right, we'll use weapons in the next one. That's fair. All right.
Everyone go follow the TikTok. Yeah. Basically.
JuJu is overrated.
Overrated? You might have to when we get off of this, go look up what overrated means.
I will. Let's see. Let's look at the dictionary right now. Overrated. Oh, a picture of JuJu came up. Huh.
You know what? You know who's gonna hate you after this? Any Browns fan, because man, you trashed on them way too much. How?
I said they're not Super Bowl contenders because they're not.
You trashed on them and you took everything away from them. I
said, congratulations, Kevin Stefanski, you changed the culture. I gave them my congratulations. I said, nice job, Browns.
And then you said, congratulations, you had the easiest schedule in the league. It wasn't that impressive. That's literally what you said.
No. I never said it was
You literally said that. You literally said that word right out of your mouth.
They had the easiest schedule in the NFL. It does take away a little bit of its luster, yes.
Man.
You know who else had the easiest schedule in the NFL? New England Patriots 2 years ago lost in the wild card because they weren't all that great. And so the Pittsburgh Steelers last year. They had a very easy schedule. Lost in the first round of the playoffs. Won 12-4.
Sick.
All right, guys. Go follow me if you want some good NFL content and you agree with all my takes, which if you have half a brain, you probably will. So go follow me on Twitter, Instagram, not YouTube. Don't follow my YouTube. Go follow me on all that good stuff, TikTok. And then you can block 440 on all of his stuff if you want.
If you follow Tailgate, go ahead and unfollow me.
All right.
Peace, boys.
All right.